Hello everybody, welcome to Bracken Collection Day, or at least one of them, and a view from the Land Rover. It is very windy out there, which we know plays with the sound when I do these recordings. I am going to put on the natty little microphone that I was lent, thank you Sarah, when I actually go out there. But I thought I'd start in the Land Rover for a quick chat before I go out with all of these bags. Donated by Sheila and friends of the Dartmoor Hill Pony, thank you. And just introduce you to, this is Spitchwick Common. I'll turn the camera around. So Spitchwick Common is about 4 miles as the crow flies, 7 miles if you're on a bicycle going down the lanes, from the pottery, and if you take a look at this little scene here, I've just randomly stopped where I can get the Land Rover off the road. The brown that you see, which is pretty much everywhere, in between everything, is dead bracken. It's last year's bracken, and it's been down for all the way through the winter. So I'm hoping it's pretty inert. But this, as you can see, this brown is everywhere. So I am going to spend a bit of time filling up some bags with bracken from Spitchwick Common. And having read all the health warnings on the packet, I've got feed bags that I'm going to fill up. I'm going to put my gloves on. I'm going to wear my mask, which I haven't put on since COVID lockdown. And then I'm going to staple each bag closed before I take it home in the Land Rover. Well, I don't even know if there's spores out there at this time of year with bracken, but I'm not taking any chances. So, collection day. We'll see how much I can pick up. Right, so the interesting thing about using this microphone is the camera on my phone only works with it if it's pointing in one particular direction, and it's really difficult to know if I'm even in the shot. So, okay, I have plastic feed bag here, and the first thing I need to do is turn it the other way up so that any bits of millinnia disappear. Marvellous. I'm going to put on face mask, although it's so windy, not entirely sure I need it, but hey ho. Gosh, it's like old times. Oops. I don't know what protection that gives me, but we'll see. And gloves on. And now I'm just going to move about, pick up bracken, and I only want the bracken. Well, it might be on the ground, but it's still pretty well attached to its roots. Ooh. And I believe its roots are known as rhizoids. Underneath the ground there's a whole network of root system and rhizomes. In fact, somebody joked the other day that all the bracken on the whole of this common is probably technically one plant, because it's just underneath the ground, spreading away. That's where it hides in the winter, and then come in a few months' time, certainly by June, we'll see it setting up its new growth on the surface. This stuff is inedible to animals because of the poisons that it holds. Because I asked the question, Spitchwick. The name Spitchwick's got something to do with pigs. And I know that pigs like to plough the ground, and I wondered whether having pigs on Spitchwick again would be the answer to grazing back bracken, but no. I've driven a little bit down the road because I'm on my way to the Newbridge side of the hill, so I thought I'd collect some bracken there. And the bracken just gets denser and denser, and I stopped because I wanted to show you this. Trouble is, the sun's all in the wrong place, but I'll see what I can do. And you can see how much more dense the bracken gets. Now, this has been down all winter, but it gives you an idea of how thick this is when it's in full growth in the summer months. So here we are, back in the kiln shed with the brazier and loads of bags of bracken. So this is what we collected the other day, and now this is going to be burned in the old dustbin brazier, and this time making ash from the bracken. So I've got to probably burn 2 dumpy bags of bracken and see if I have sufficient weight of bracken ash to make the tests with bracken, ash and clay to see if we can find a glaze recipe. So I'm trying to light this, and I'm finding that it doesn't light as quickly as Millennia. I'm actually finding this quite difficult to get going. So that's an interesting difference between bracken and Millennia. I shall persevere. I shall persevere. Well, I had to use the gas poker to get this to go, and it is now going, but compared to the Millennia it's really tame, so I find that quite interesting. The Millennia behind me therefore is even more terrifying because it seems to be so much more flammable than this bracken, which is now going, but nothing like as dramatically. However, I do know the smoke is carcinogenic, so I have to be a little bit careful, so I'm not going to hang around. Okay, so all the bracken's been burned, and I shall leave that to cool down, and then the next job will be to prepare the ash and make the glaze tests. So my plan is next week I'm firing my kiln, and the tests with the Millennia glaze tests will be in that one, and then the following week I'm going to fire the kiln a second time. And it is my plan that I have the bracken, ash, clay mixes, those tests in that second firing. So it could be that in 3 weeks' time we may know if Molinia and bracken will make a glaze to use in the exhibition.